Think of adventure in a remote part of the world, and what vehicle comes to mind? That's right, the one in the old jungle movies. Crossing the desert, carrying hardy souls across uncharted territory. The Land Rover, rugged and dependable. The authentic 4x4, built for adventure. And you've just acquired the genuine article, the Land Rover Discovery, with a lineage of all those unbeatable 4x4s. For almost half a century now, Land Rover has been dedicated to manufacturing only 4x4s. Vehicles sold in over 100 countries, providing the freedom to explore. Come along on the La Ruta Maya expedition in Central America, inspecting lost cities of the ancient Maya. Or take a seat for the annual Camel Trophy adventure, the undisputed Olympics of four-wheel drive. Year after year, the event organizers specify Land Rovers to do the job in some of the most remote parts of the world. This is Daphne Green with U.S. teammate Jim Sweat, driving a Discovery on Camel Trophy 95 through Central America. And Lee McGee, another U.S. competitor driving across Siberia in 1990. Driving in such adverse conditions requires a thorough understanding of the vehicle. In fact, it's a good idea to know all about your vehicle no matter where you choose to drive. Hi, I'm Bill Baker from Land Rover North America, and we want you to thoroughly enjoy your new Discovery. Now, the most important thing you can do is read your owner's manual. It's still the most comprehensive guide to understanding all of the systems and functions of the vehicle. But we also know you're anxious to get going. And sometimes it's faster and easier to learn by watching. And that's just what we're going to do, demonstrate how to operate some of the systems. But this isn't a substitute for reading the manual, and many times you'll be reminded to consult it for more thorough explanation. We've designed this video to be watched from beginning to end, or if you're looking for specific information, a chapter at a time. All the chapters are listed on the back of the video sleeve. They cover getting comfortable, safety and security, instruments and controls, the audio system, the heating and cooling system, stowing and towing, design hallmarks, the transmission and four-wheel drive, ABS, and FYI, some details that make good sense. Notice the number in the upper right. That indicates the current chapter and is a handy way to search for the right topic. And to demonstrate Discovery's features and capabilities, we have Lee McGee and Daphne Green, Camel Trophy veterans who have driven Discoveries in the toughest conditions imaginable all over the world and are thoroughly familiar with it. Whether you take a long trip or something a bit shorter, it's important to be comfortable. The front seats can be adjusted manually or electrically, depending upon your model. For manual adjustment, use the bar to move forward and back, and the knob to set the angle of the backrest. The knob above is for lumbar support, and is the same for both models. The 8-way power seats can be adjusted when the ignition is off and the door open, or if the door is closed, the ignition must be in position 1 or 2. You can adjust the seat cushion and backrest with the power switches, and the headrests manually. To adjust the steering wheel, the vehicle should be stopped and in park. Push the lever up and hold. Move the wheel up or down and release the lever. To position the side view mirrors, turn the knob to R or L and rotate the control. The mirrors also have 2 positions which can be adjusted manually and are designed to fold in for car washes and narrow stretches off-road. The window switches are located on the center console, with the controls for the front windows, the most frequently used ones, conveniently placed on the top. Press and hold the bottom of the switch to lower and the top to raise. The front windows have a one-touch down feature as well. Press firmly and then release, and the windows will open fully. To stop at any time, briefly press the top of the switch. And remember, the windows can still be operated up to 45 seconds after the ignition is turned off, as long as no door is opened. If your vehicle is fitted with sunroofs, this 45-second delay works here as well. Controls for both sunroofs are between the visors. The front is on the left and the rear on the right. The rear sunroof can also be operated using controls above the rear seat. Press and release the upper part of the switch to open the sunroof to a tilt position. Press briefly for a second time to fully open the roof. Even though Discovery is equipped with dual airbags, they are not a replacement for seat belts, which should be worn at all times. Proper adjustment is very important. To adjust the height of the seat belt, pull the button out to raise or lower. The belt should sit between your shoulder and neck. See your owner's manual for a complete description of proper fit. It's very important for all occupants to wear their safety belts properly. Please read the owner's manual for a complete discussion of these safety systems. There are other safety features engineered into Discovery. We'll take a look at them in the next chapter. Protecting small passengers is very important. There are child locks on the two rear doors to prevent opening from the inside, and on the cargo door as well. To lock out operation of the back windows, press this switch on the center console. To reactivate, press again. And the rear sunroof operation can be conveniently locked out with this switch located with the master sunroof controls. If your vehicle has this label or one similar on the seatbelt straps for the two rear outer seats and the front passenger seats, it is equipped with the ALR system, which allows deactivation of the inertial mechanism to facilitate installation of a child seat. Here's how to use it. Remember to follow the manufacturer's installation instruction. It is especially important that children of all ages be properly buckled up and should ride in the rear seat whenever possible. Pull the belt out all the way to override the inertial mechanism. Feed it through, grab the buckle, and insert the latch. Then let the belt retract until it locks with a clicking sound. Airbags have been credited with saving many lives. However, it is important to remember that children in a rear-facing child safety seat must never be placed in the front seat, where interaction with inflating airbags poses a significant risk. Also note the warnings posted on the top of the passenger sun visor. See your owner's manual for a detailed discussion of airbags and child seats. Along with airbags, Discovery is engineered to provide additional protection in case of accidents. The side doors have impact beams and are designed to stay latched in the event of a side impact. And in many kinds of accidents, an automatic fuel cutoff switch will turn off the electronic fuel pump. In an emergency, when the vehicle is stopped, use your warning lights. All direction indicator lights will flash, and they will automatically engage in the event of an impact. Discovery has a sophisticated electronic security system. It's best to consult your owner's manual for a complete explanation. But here's a brief overview. You can lock and unlock the doors using the key or remote transmitter. Turning the key in the driver's door will lock and unlock all doors simultaneously. This will also arm and disarm the anti-theft alarm, and is the only key position that will do this. So remember, unlocking the passenger or cargo doors won't disarm the alarm. In order to activate the alarm system, all doors, windows, sunroofs, and hood should be closed. The remote transmitter increases the capabilities of this system. Press the button with the padlock symbol on it. The warning lights will flash 3 times, and the light on the instrument panel will flash. The system is now armed, and the engine is immobilized. If the hood or any doors are opened, the alarm will sound. To unlock the vehicle and disarm the system, press the plane button. The warning lights will flash once and the engine will be remobilized. And for convenience, the interior will illuminate. One final note, interior lights will also stay on for 15 seconds when leaving the vehicle. Now let's review the instrument panel and steering column controls. There's a full complement of gauges, including temperature, tachometer, speedometer, odometer, trip odometer, reset button, and the fuel gauge. When starting up, the warning lights go through a self-check routine, but should all be out before the vehicle is driven off, with the exception of the amber ABS warning light, which goes out when the vehicle exceeds 5 miles per hour. The left stalk on the steering column controls the turn signals and the headlights. Rotate to the first position for parking, side and tail lights. Rotate to the second position for the headlights. Pull the stalk toward you for high and low beams. To adjust the level of illumination on the instrument panel, move the thumb wheel left or right to suit your preference. For night driving, you can use the auto-dimming feature on the inside rear view mirror. Push the auto button to activate, and the mirror automatically reduces glare from following vehicles. And here's another thoughtful feature. When backing up, the mirror will automatically return to its most reflective state. The controls for the front wipers and washers are on the right stalk of the steering column. Pull down and release for one wipe. Turn the switch one click for intermittent wipe. To vary the speed of the delay, rotate this switch. Turn to the second position for normal speed wipe, and to the third position for fast wipe. To wash the windshield, pull the stalk toward you. This also power washes the headlights when they are on low beam. The switches on the instrument panel control the rear window system. The top one operates the washer, and the next one the wiper. Now, if conditions are cold and wet, these switches over to the left of the instrument panel will help. Push the top one to activate the heating elements for the rear window. This will also heat the side view mirrors. When it's foggy, turn on this one for the rear fog lights. And if your vehicle has front fog lights, they are activated by this switch and work only when headlights are on low beam. The rest of the switches on the instrument panel work with the audio system, which is coming up next. The audio system in Discovery is designed to provide a great deal of pleasure. It includes AM/FM stereo, weather band, audio cassette player, and an optional CD player. There are so many features that they can't all be covered here, so it's best to read your owner's manual for a thorough understanding, and we'll review the main features. The round knob turns on the system and controls the volume. Volume can also be controlled remotely by these switches on the left of the instrument panel. Remember, the remote setting can limit the available output of the audio. It will override the on-off volume knob on the radio face. To manually select radio stations, press the tuning button lightly to go up or down. To automatically tune to the next station, press firmly. You can also do this remotely on the instrument panel. These switches provide a very handy way to control the basic operation without taking your hands off the steering wheel. For browsing, press the scan button for a 7-second preview of each station. The band button switches between FM1, FM2, AM, and the CD if installed. Once again, this can also be done remotely. There are 2 FM bands, and you can have 6 different presets for each band. Just hold to set. Touch the weather band and the radio will automatically tune to the nearest NOAA weather station.
Lows in the 40s through the 50s, light wind. Saturday, areas of morning low clouds and fog, otherwise partly
With the
cloudy.
radio on, insert a tape and the system will switch to tape mode. Press this switch once to fast forward or rewind. Push again to stop the function. Use the mode switch to adjust bass, treble, fade, and balance. If you have a CD player, it's located under the front passenger seat and can hold 6 CDs. Insert the magazine with the arrow facing up. Turn on the radio and press the band button to select CD.
Coming next.
To play CDs 1 through 6, use the correspondingly numbered buttons. You can fast forward, reverse, search, and scan. Your owner's manual will detail all the procedures. But here's one more handy feature. Press the Program button for Random Play, and the player will select tracks randomly off of available discs. With such a great audio system, it'd be a pity not to put it to good use. If a sport utility vehicle is truly capable of conquering all these climates, then it must have superior heating, cooling, and ventilation. Driver and passenger can select individual temperature settings with their own controls. Air distribution to the vents is set with the dial in the middle. Adjust the fan speed with the slider switch. The air conditioning system is controlled by the switches just to the left. Press the center one to turn the system on and off. If your vehicle is equipped with rear air conditioning, it can be activated by the switch to the right. Rear air conditioning can also be operated with controls in the rear ceiling. Either the front or rear switches will activate the rear system, as long as the front air conditioning is on. For maximum cooling, set both temperature controls all the way to the left. Turn the fan to high and push the air recirculation button just to the left of the AC switch. This prevents the system from taking in fresh air and recirculates and cools the interior air. In cold weather, use the heating system to defrost, demist, and keep the interior comfortable. For maximum heat, turn both temperature controls all the way to the right, the fan to high, and vents to face level. To demist the windshield, temperature should be at maximum settings. Run the air conditioning compressor to help dry incoming air. Adjust the vents to direct all air to the windshield. For defrosting, use these same settings and switch on the air recirculation to keep cold air from coming in. As soon as the windshield is clear, switch it off to prevent fogging. In wintry conditions, remember the exterior mirrors and rear windows can be heated to help keep them clear. By definition, one of the requirements of a sport utility vehicle is the ability to transport heavy loads. Each Camel Trophy vehicle carries all food and gear for 4 people for 3 weeks. And here's a British couple driving around the world in 80 weeks in their Discovery. Every inch of space is cleverly designed to stow their gear. For everyday requirements, you can conceal your gear with the retractable cargo cover. If the load is going to be more substantial, remove the cargo cover and fold down the rear seats. Push the release button and fold each seat forward. Now, if you'd like to customize your Discovery to carry your highly specialized gear and outfit for adventure, you can add all sorts of useful accessories, such as this handy rear step, ladder, a roof rack, heavy-duty cargo mat, bike rack, running boards, and a brush bar. Also available are rear lamp guards, removable front lamp guards for off-road use only, and a winch. Both the brush bar and winch are compatible with the airbag system. You can also add these driving lights for off-roading as well. And the recovery hooks on the brush bar may prove handy. Something you don't have to add are the hooks built into the frame, or a Class 3 trailer hitch receiver with a plug for wiring harness already installed. Just install a drawbar and harness and you're ready to tow. Now that you're set for adventure, we'll take an inside look at what makes Discovery so capable. Thinking of doing some off-roading? Perhaps not something as rigorous as this, but rest assured, every Discovery is designed to stand up to tough off-pavement conditions. That's why Land Rovers have been around for 50 years. That's what makes them legendary. Their superior components and engineering make Discovery extremely capable. Here's a brief look at the design hallmarks. Start with a solid foundation. Land Rover engineers specify a box section frame. The welded steel monocoque underbody is mounted to the chassis at rubber body mounting points to insulate passengers from noise and vibration, providing a smooth passenger car-like ride. Combined with aluminum body panels, this creates a lower center of gravity for better handling. Another key ingredient for superior off-road capability is the ability to clear obstacles. Note the clean profile of Discovery's undercarriage. All components are tucked up inside the frame where they are safe and protected. The location of the two differentials is also noteworthy. On Discovery, they are lined up one behind the other, providing uniform clearances from front to back, and they are offset from the center, so that tall obstacles can be passed underneath the driver's side of the vehicle. The suspension of your sport utility makes it extremely versatile. It not only provides a smooth ride, similar to a passenger car, but can also support heavy loads. And most importantly for a 4x4, it can get you through terrain that bears little resemblance to roads in your neighborhood. Discovery uses supple coil springs to answer all these needs. In off-road conditions, they provide long wheel travel to keep all four wheels on the ground for maximum traction. And finally, power is a very important factor. Discovery's V8 engine provides all that's needed for carrying heavy loads and meeting off-road demands head-on. Of course, the four-wheel drive system has a lot to do with off-road prowess, and we'll take a look at that in the next chapter. Many times, having the freedom to explore means having the right 4x4. This expedition drove deep into the rainforests of Central America and put the transmission and four-wheel drive system to good work. The operation is not difficult, and there are a few design features we'd like to point out. For vehicles fitted with an automatic transmission, to shift out of park, the ignition key must be in position 2 and the brake pedal depressed. If these two conditions are not met, shift interlock will prevent movement of the shift lever. Here's a very handy feature. For quick bursts of power, there's no detent between drive and third, so you can manually shift back and forth between the two. All Discoveries come with cruise control. Push the master switch on the console and then operate the system with these switches on the steering column. Even though your Discovery is in permanent four-wheel drive, you can increase traction when road surfaces become loose or slippery by locking the center differential. This will distribute power equally to the front and rear axles. Locking the differential can be done at any speed or when the vehicle is stopped by using the control knob in front of the transmission lever. Simply move the lever to the left. After a short delay, an amber light will come on indicating that the differential lock is engaged. To unlock the center differential, simply move the lever to the right. If the differential lock warning light fails to extinguish, it may be necessary to shift to reverse and back up a short distance to realign the gears within the transfer box. This should extinguish the amber lamp. The transfer gearbox also allows shifting between a high and low range of gears. Use high range for all normal road driving and off-roading across dry, level terrain. Use low range for heavy towing and in more extreme off-road conditions. To shift to low range with an automatic transmission, slow down to under 5 miles an hour. Move the transmission lever to neutral. Move the transfer gearbox lever from high to neutral and then neutral to low. Then shift into the desired forward or reverse gear. For a manual transmission, slow down to under 5 miles per hour, shift to neutral, move the transfer gearbox knob to neutral and then low, shift into the desired gear, and continue. Knowing when and how to change gears should become familiar in time. Read your owner's manual for a complete explanation of these procedures, and soon you'll receive another video teaching operation of the transmission and four-wheel drive system and off-road driving technique in various types of terrain. Now here are two more details to note. The vehicle must be shifted into park and the transfer case in either high or low range before the key can be removed. This prevents accidentally leaving the vehicle in an unsafe condition. And finally, you may have noticed that the accelerator pedal travels a bit farther than in other cars. This is a deliberate design feature that permits precise control of the pedal and eliminates jerkiness when driving in low range over uneven surfaces. Coming up, ABS. The purpose of anti-lock braking systems is to allow braking without wheel lockup, thus preventing skidding and allowing the driver to maintain control of steering. The system works by monitoring the speed of each wheel. When braking occurs and wheel slippage is sensed, the system varies braking pressure to each wheel to keep them from locking up. Discovery has a 4-channel ABS system. The advantage of 4-channel is that all 4 wheels can act independently. Under normal braking, when traction is good, ABS will not be activated. However, in emergency situations requiring hard braking and on loose and low traction surfaces, ABS will automatically operate. You'll hear a whirring sound and feel a pulsing and slight drop of the pedal pressure. This is normal and means ABS is working. Now here's the key. In order for ABS to work properly, you must maintain strong, steady pressure on the brake pedal. This is very important. Don't let up or pump the brakes. You should be able to continue steering the vehicle normally. This method of braking is standard for any ABS-equipped vehicle. When off-roading on loose surfaces, you may hear the system operating more frequently. Don't worry, this is normal. However, be aware that ABS will not overcome the laws of physics and extremely hazardous road surfaces. Read your owner's manual for a thorough explanation and try it out in an open area to learn its capabilities and limitations. In the final chapter, we'll do a little housekeeping. Your Discovery should receive routine services at your local dealer. In addition, each owner should make a number of simple checks regularly. These are covered in the owner's manual, but here's a quick overview of some important locations. There are 2 fuse boxes. One is located under the steering column. The other is in the engine compartment. To open the hood, pull the release, push the safety catch to the right, raise the hood, and support it with the prop rod. Remember, whenever working under the hood, to be cautious of moving parts. The second fuse box is next to the engine coolant reservoir. Just behind is the washer reservoir. Here's the automatic transmission fluid dipstick, engine oil dipstick, engine oil filler cap, and power steering reservoir. This is the air intake, located high off the ground and protected from water crossings. The jack and wheel chocks are stowed here in the engine compartment, while the jack handle and tools are under the back seat, along with the 3 crossbars for the luggage rack. And the spare tire is conveniently located on the cargo door. And if you ever need roadside assistance, call Land Rover's 24-hour hotline. We hope this video companion has been helpful, but always remember to read your owner's manual. You've not only bought a great vehicle, you've bought a ticket to adventure. Ask your dealer about off-roading events. There's a growing number of Land Rover centers with a dedicated staff specially trained to sell and service our 4-wheel drive products. Drop in to say hi and pick up gear designed for the Land Rover lifestyle. As an owner, you have the opportunity to join other enthusiasts for Land Rover adventures. Travel to some of the most fascinating regions of the world and learn advanced techniques from our own expert driving instructors. There are Land Rover clubs around North America staging local adventures. So remember, wherever you go, there are opportunities for Land Rover adventure. Thanks, Lee. Thanks, Daphne. So long.